Jayne Mansfield, the blonde bombshell of Hollywood's golden age, was as bold in death as she was in life. Known for her vivacious personality and stunning looks, Mansfield's final burial request was anything but ordinary. She insisted on being buried in a pink coffin, a color as vibrant and unforgettable as her own persona. But that wasn't all. Mansfield's family honored her wish by designing a heart-shaped pink marble tombstone, symbolizing her everlasting charm and the love she radiated. Tragically, Mansfield's life was cut short at the age of 34 in a fatal car accident, yet her eccentric burial choice made headlines and remains an iconic part of her legacy. Her grave in Fairview Cemetery, Pennsylvania, continues to attract fans intrigued by the combination of glamour, tragedy, and a touch of whimsical rebellion. Mansfield's strange final request perfectly encapsulates her spirit, fearless, flamboyant, and unwilling to fade quietly into the night, proving that even in death, this golden age star demanded the spotlight. Marlon Brando, the legendary actor known for redefining Hollywood's acting style, also left behind an unconventional final wish that shocked many. Brando requested that his body be cremated and that his ashes be scattered in the Pacific Ocean near Tahiti, a place that held deep personal significance for him. But what made his burial request truly strange was the absence of any traditional funeral or public memorial. Brando, a fiercely private man despite his fame, wanted to avoid the usual Hollywood spectacle and instead chose a simple, almost anonymous farewell. His decision reflected his lifelong rebellion against the Hollywood system and a desire for peace away from the limelight he so often resisted. This unique final gesture was a quiet yet powerful statement, embodying the complexity of a man who was both a towering cultural icon and deeply private soul. Brando's strange burial request remains a fascinating glimpse into the mind of a golden age star who refused to conform, even in death. Dorothy Dandridge, Hollywood's first African-American actress nominated for an Academy Award, faced a life filled with both dazzling success and heartbreaking struggles. Her final burial request reflected a quiet dignity amid the turbulence of her life. Dandridge wished to be buried in a simple grave at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California, without any grand monument or fanfare. However, what made her burial unusual was the initial secrecy surrounding her death and burial. Her passing was shrouded in mystery and tragedy, with many speculating about the circumstances. Though her funeral was modest, over time, admirers ensured her memory lived on with a modest but elegant headstone featuring an angel sculpture, symbolizing her grace and enduring spirit. Dorothy's humble final wish stood in stark contrast to the glitz and glamour she had once commanded on screen, emphasizing a desire for peace and anonymity after a life marked by racial barriers and personal hardships. Her strange but poignant burial choice reminds us of the complexities behind Hollywood's shining stars. John Wayne, the iconic cowboy of Hollywood's golden age, was known for his rugged on-screen persona and larger-than-life presence. But even the tough Duke had a unique final burial request that surprised many. Wayne wished to be buried with his boots on, literally. He wanted to be laid to rest wearing his signature cowboy boots, symbolizing the indomitable spirit he portrayed in countless westerns. His gravesite in Pacific View Memorial Park, California, reflects this no-nonsense attitude, serving as a tribute to the man who embodied American grit and determination. Additionally, John Wayne requested a private, simple funeral, avoiding the pomp and public spectacle often associated with celebrities of his stature. His wife and family respected this wish, giving him a farewell that was both dignified and true to his character. This strange yet fitting burial choice reveals Wayne's deep connection to the cowboy image he lived and breathed, making his final resting place a reflection of the legend he became, rugged, authentic, and eternally American. Robert Mitchum, the quintessential Hollywood tough guy with a famously dry wit, had a final burial request that perfectly matched his rebellious spirit. Known for his anti-hero roles and a career that spanned over 5 decades, Mitchum wanted to be cremated, but not just anywhere. His ashes were scattered at sea, a fitting tribute to a man who often portrayed rugged, free-spirited characters. What makes his request particularly unusual is that Mitchum's family reportedly kept his exact burial location secret, adding a layer of mystery around his final resting place. This desire for privacy was consistent with Mitchum's off-screen persona, a man who never sought the spotlight and lived life on his own terms. His strange burial choice reflects the enigmatic aura that surrounded him throughout his career. Robert Mitchum's wish to disappear quietly into the waves captures the essence of a golden age star who valued independence and mystery, even in death. James Stewart, Hollywood's beloved everyman, and one of the most iconic actors of the golden age, had a final burial request that reflected his grounded and humble nature. Unlike many stars who sought elaborate memorials, Stewart chose simplicity and privacy for his farewell. He requested to be buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California, but what made his burial unusual was his wish to avoid any grand public ceremony or excessive media attention. Stewart was a decorated World War II veteran who valued service and modesty above fame, and this ethos carried into his final wishes. Instead of a flashy tombstone, his grave features a modest marker, blending quietly among many others, symbolizing his desire to be remembered simply as a man, not just a movie star. His strange but touching burial choice reminds fans that behind the charm and talent was a man of deep humility, whose greatest legacy wasn't Hollywood fame, but his authenticity and character. Dean Martin, the suave crooner and charismatic entertainer, known as the King of Cool, had a final burial request that reflected his playful personality and love for simplicity. Martin chose to be cremated, but what made his request unusual was his wish that no elaborate tombstone or mausoleum be erected in his honor. Instead, he preferred a modest resting place, emphasizing that he wanted to be remembered for his music and laughter rather than grand monuments. Yet, true to his showman nature, Martin's funeral was filled with a light-hearted atmosphere, celebrating his life with humor and warmth. Interestingly, despite his preference for a simple burial, fans and loved ones have created unofficial memorials in his honor, highlighting his enduring legacy in entertainment. Dean Martin's strange yet humble burial wishes reflect the man behind the spotlight, someone who valued joy, connection, and a good time over pomp and circumstance, making his final farewell as cool and effortless as his career.